Okay, so it's been a little while, but today we're back at the square body truck. So in the last time we see a video, we were putting the intercooler in, which you can see there. We moved the transmission cooler over. So today we're going to see if we can plumb the intercooler piping to the engine and to the intercooler and to the turbo. So what we have a box of bins that we ordered a while ago, and we're going to see if we can start making the piping there. And we actually have a blow-off valve to install in it as well. So there we go. So anyway, we're looking at this area. So I just put right now I just put a 90 degree on the turbocharger on the compressor wheel, and we know that that has to come off there through here, and it has to go into the intercooler here. So anyway, at first what we're doing with it, we had our 90 degree bend, and it had this hole that was originally here, but it wasn't. It was up here higher. It wasn't down deep enough. So we got it down deep enough that we can. If you can see it there, you can see the elbow just put on the turbocharger. So we push this in here. We're going to look at. We can pretty well cut the pipe off right here, and that'll give us enough room to go there. And if you look up top, it's got to go ahead quite a ways. It's close, but it's not going to be long enough. So in doing that, what we have done, I've already have a piece that we had cut here earlier, and is this one here. And the funniest thing is, you can see the ends of them are bead rolled, and Jordan actually had a bead roller here when he was at the Mustang, belonged to Fitz. So anyway, we actually stuck the aluminum pipe in the bead roller, and yes, it actually bead rolled the bead back in the end of the pipe. So that was great. So right now what we have, you can come down here, we have this one that actually it'll fit there, clears there, and it'll go on over there. With having such a sharp bend, in here, the inside radius of the pipe was bringing up in this area here. So I just actually just a few cuts and I tapped it. I think I'm going to just weld this piece back in, just because it's just pushed back right now. We slice it down the side, slice it here, we tap that in here, tap that in there. We should be able to weld it back in and make it look good anyway. Okay, so we have a little better lighting here now, and the area in here, you can see it was where I put the two cuts into it, made a little radius here. So we just welded this in. So considering we had all this cleaned up and painted a little earlier, I'll take this now and give a little rub off at one of them sanding flat wheels, and I'll put a little bit of paint onto it, and then we'll continue on get the pieces fit in. Okay, so we just took this area here and cleaned it up. I see a little bit better there. It's a little radius here, so when the pipe passes, the inside of the pipe passes through here, it'll allow it to go in there. So put that in. It's going to go in there like so. And you can see, come over here, you can see we turned it off a bit or whatever. You can see we're pretty close. We had to add to this pipe, and this copper should fit up just nice. Try not to turn a little more on it. Yeah, so we got a couple inches here. So actually it looks like the piece we trimmed off right here, we'll be able to cut that and weld it onto the other part. So this is the piece we cut off the other end of the 90, and I just marked it and I trimmed it up right there. So we cut it off, and this is the piece that we need. And if you look in here, we'll weld that in there and put that on. So little aluminum welding is required. Previously I didn't have an aluminum welder, but I used to get one of my friends to do it, but we picked one up there the other day, and I don't know how well it's going to make, but I'm curious. We picked up it's a Synchro 200, and the interesting part, I bought it off one of my friends and went to pick it up, and we had to put it in the back of my truck with a tractor. It's heavy as hell. And so anyway, I didn't want to be going around 3 welding carts in the garage here, so I actually took the cover off, and I drilled the holes in the top of the welder, and I mounted my the top tray off the cart onto here, so I can still move this around to put the board in, or sorry, around to put the welding wire in, and just come around the back. Well, you can see anyway, but I end up making a tray down here, and I got 2 of the tanks, with the CO2 tank and the argon tank on it. So anyway, we'll try to weld that together. Probably won't do it right now till I get all of the pipes done. Yeah, this we're going to be trying to do some aluminum welding ourselves. I don't know how well that's going to go, but we'll find out. So moving on over to the other side, I just shoved the coupler on over the other end of the intercooler, and have this pipe again. So we know this is going to have to go through this area here to go into the engine compartment. So actually, rather than trying to put a tight turn in here, I think I'm going to see if I get a hole saw and just move it over here, so you see, I see the drying in the dirt. But get a hole saw, punch a hole through right there, so we'll come over and go in that area. We did have the ECU mounted in that area in here, so I think the hole is going to be cut around this area. So obviously I just took the ECU and I laid it right there for the time being, and we're going to cut the hole and we'll see how it fits in. Okay, so we've put a hole in this area here, and obviously the copper's still on there. Just trying a bit of fitment, but anyway, got a mark onto it. So you just slide that into there for now. And as you can see, we've already put a mark onto it where we figure it's going to go. So we'll cut this piece off right here, and we'll take it over on that bead roller and see if we put the bead back in. Anyway, when we mark this stuff here, getting it around the pipe is, you know, sometimes get a straight line around it. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Just down here for a second. I'll show you what we do. We take one of our coppers and just push it on the pipe, and you can slide it wherever you want. Obviously, we had the mark right here, so we'll just take the marker and we'll just go around the pipe like so. And that'll give us our cut line. So anyway, I'm going to try to put the bead in this. So the last time we done this, Jordan was here helping me. It was easier with 2 hands, but so we just slid the collar back on. We moved in a little bit, put another mark here, so we can mark that where we're going to put it to on the tubing bender, sorry, on the bead roller. So you bring this up. See that on this one. I was going to put the bead on the inside. That wouldn't work. Alright, so this one here, just tighten up a little. Probably going to tighten it more again in a second, but some back on. It's a bit hard to keep it straight yourself. Okay, so we ran around the pipe and back this off a little. And if you look, we have a bead around the pipe to keep the hose from sliding off. Alrighty, so we done just that. Took a little bit off of here, and on this piece here, as you can see with the other side, you just put a slice in here. Slice in here, drove the metal in, and then we shaved this piece, and all we do, we weld the seam here now, and it'll be pretty nice. A little closer look there. You can see she's got a little bit of roundness to it. So here's the pipe. So we shove the pipe through, and that is very close, and she's over there. So that's a good fit. So anyway, have a little look there again. Copper's on, pipes on, gone through the hole. So in the engine bay, all I done right here was I just unscrewed ECU from right there, screwed it on there. Fine. So now all we can do is we got to get our pipe here, get a 90 into it, and go up there, and we have to get the adapter for the throttle body, which I do have. Okay, so we just come back from the house and we found some parts. So got a coupler to go from the pipe into the throttle body, and the clamps to go with it, and got a blow-off valve. So yeah, so one joint over there to do, right here obviously, and it looks like we got one joint here. So as you can see, she comes down there under the red hose, into there, out this way, and into the intercooler. So what we also had to do is we had to mount this guy. So see where we're going to put him to now. I'm thinking right here actually, closer to the throttle blades. So I think obviously this is designed, I think, for probably 2.5 inch. So we'll have to make the fitment a little bit better. You see, she doesn't. She's a little bit off the pipe. It's only a little trimming wouldn't fix. So a little further here with the truck. Turn the light up here a bit. So we welded the pipe here and ground off the weld a bit to make it look half presentable. And look over here. Stick that under somewhere. We had that one welded in there. Some pretty nice beads here. Too bad I didn't do it. Jordan come to help me today and was doing some of the welding. I guess it just goes to show you that 50-year-old eyes don't see so good. So one more thing we're trying to do now. We got this here. This is an intake air temperature sensor, and we're going to put a bung in around right here, and we're going to weld it on, and we're going to screw that into it. This eventually, that fitting there, sensor, will eventually it'll get tied into when we get there. If you look at this, this is the old mass here, so we're going to be getting rid of that. What we end up doing is you look at the wires in there. We don't use them all, but we end up taking some of them off and only using a couple of them for this sensor. The rest of it won't be used, and we'll switch over to speed density instead of mass airflow tuning to it. So it's also a point we put this in too, and this is a GM 2-bar map sensor. And if you're wondering, 2 of these are actually I guess they're cheap enough to buy, but anyway, they're out of remember them old 6.5 turbo diesels, or 6.2 turbo diesels, and it was before Duramax anyway. They all have a 2-bar map sensor, and they all have that. Okay, so we're here with the pipe. We have it off. Drill the hole a little bigger, and we got this bung that I just made. So just to hold it in the hole, I'll just drop a bolt down through it. Just center it there somewhere. But all we done was cut a piece of quarter plate, cut a piece out of it, drill a hole down through it, and we use a pipe tap to put it in there. So that's pretty well it now. So all we do is see if we can weld this on, and that should pretty well be the whole cold side done, so which will be good. So a little while later, this is what we got. So we got the bung here welded in. Thank God for the flap wheels for cleaning it up. So we're going to install it in the truck and check it out. Okay, so let's have another look at it again. So if you can see it, we got it out of the turbocharger, coupler pipe, and it comes down here into the intercooler, out the intercooler, over through there. We have our air temperature sensor right here, blow off valve right here, and we got it all tightened up. So next thing is to get this hooked up instead of the mass airflow, and it should be coming along nicely. Okay, so let's have another look at it again. So if you can see it, we got it out of the turbocharger, coupler pipe, and it comes down here into the intercooler, out the intercooler, over through there. We have our air temperature sensor right here, blow off valve right here, and we got it all tightened up. So we'd have another look at the motor. So recently I just came in and drilled a hole through the compressor housing and ran it up to the bottom of the wastegate. So how this works is, obviously as the turbo spins, it builds up pressure on this side. This is the boost side. So you run a line from your compressor outlet over to the bottom of your wastegate, and when the pressure reaches spring pressure, it pushes the diaphragm open and it dumps the exhaust pressure out back down to the exhaust. So that's how the wastegate works. The blow-off valve, what happens with that is when you close your throttle blades, and what happens is the intake goes back into vacuum. She provides a vacuum source, and it opens the diaphragm here, and it exits all the, I can't push it up with your fingers now, but it exits all the pressurized air out of here. So you know, it's moving along nicely. We still getting the feeling, but we get a lot of the small ends tied up. So hopefully within the next week or so, she'll be mobile enough to actually drive it out of the garage. We still got other stuff to do, but we're getting there with it. But it's a little update for now.